I'm Tessa with Nerds of Color. Thank you all so much for your time.
Tessa!
Good to see you.
Hello, good to see you.
Hi.
You guys
Hi.
broke me. It's
We
okay.
saw your
Just
Instagram
We
story.
did.
I was hyperventilating. I'm sure you know exactly where we were at. And I was like,
Had a
thanks for
feeling.
devastating me, guys. Perfect. Amazing.
You
Guys always do it
know,
for me.
you really get them when you get the
I did. Yes, exactly.
gasping for air.
I'm like, editing this is going to be great. I'm just going to cry all over again. It's going to be so much fun. But thank you guys so much for taking the time. Obviously, I love this season. And I love that you guys have really created these characters, from scratch. So, like, what does it mean to you guys to know that these characters have impacted so many people?
I mean, you said it, right? It like being able to see people's reactions to the thing that was, literally just we were coming up with in the moment, and we've had a chance to refine and sort of add to here is enormously satisfying. There's been a long time between season 2 and season 3, and so a lot of us have just been sitting by, chomping at the bit, waiting to see what everyone thinks of not just this section of the story that I think Vox Machina fans are familiar with, but also some of the changes in approach that we've taken and ways that we think will help improve the story. But I mean, you said it right. Like being able to share in that experience is what we look forward to the most. I mean, I've heard of actors that say once they shoot a movie, they never go back and watch their work. Hell no. I would go back and sit in a theater every single day just to see what the audience was doing and reacting to. So it's very important to us.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously we have such a close relationship, and we feel an immense amount of ownership of all these characters because they sprung from our brains. But there is the reality that once they leave you and they go out, once the art is consumed, they also belong to the audience and to the public who is consuming them. So seeing these characters have that much importance to our audience as they do to us, I mean, that's every artist's gift. It's amazing.
And we've created these characters, made them just as we've worked on so many projects where we're fulfilling someone else's needs, which is always a fun thing to do and a great challenge and a joy. But to have the ownership that Marisha is speaking to and have something that is so they're pieces of us hiding in plain sight. It's such a personal creation for us. And then we've handed over those very personal facets of ourselves and that's out there in the world. So to see it get the the support and the love that it does is beyond gratifying and the biggest gift. It's bigger than any dream I had when I was 15. Just constantly feeling fortunate.
Ashley, you have anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like with any type of art form, acting, writing, anything, I mean, you hope to reach somebody and you hope that someone is impacted by something that you have made. So the fact that this is something that all of us collectively have created and worked on together and created this world together, and these characters have been changed and impacted by each other, it's that much more special for us. And like even watching like the reaction videos of seeing your Instagram story of like, I know certain filmmakers, they'll go on opening night and they'll go watch the movie with the audience. And I think with the reaction videos, it's kind of the same thing of like, are people liking it? Are they watching it? Like, what are the reactions that they're having? And all of it, like this critical role and what we do is, I think, so unbelievably important to every single one of us. And if we can have any type of impact in a good way, that what more could we want?
Yeah. I mean, I've started watching the campaigns now, but like I'm holding back. I'm on like 40 something because I don't want to know what's coming. But
Okay.
I've found myself watching this and being like, I can't wait to watch the like gameplay of this. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
I'm like, I need to know, was that a role? Did they change that? Like, how did this happen? Like, I find myself thinking every scene, I'm like, how did this play out? And I can't wait to see how it
Oh,
played
that's
out.
fun.
You know what I mean? So I want to talk to you guys about how much of this is like evolved, right? Like Travis, you talked about how you've gone on and you edit a little things here and there or make things, you know, dive more into stuff. How much would you say, like percentage wise, is like gameplay?
Oh gosh, I think true to form, 85-90%, maybe more. It's little things just in terms of adjusting chronological order, or maybe putting someone in a situation where they weren't before, or changing some of the lore specific things of an item or a spell or an instance. Again, only if we can tee up what we feel is like a better delivery system, I think, not just for this show but also for the Mighty Nine, which is coming out soon. You know, we're trying to think of Exandria as a whole and having those things be complementary of each other. So, you know, I think it would be a mistake, certainly as a fan of other shows, if you depart too much from what is expected. I think, you know, from a central point of view, but I think how you get there, or the approach that you take, or the sequence of events, and anything that can make an audience that feels like it knows what's coming second guess that moment, and then put them at a level playing field with a newcomer to the audience. That's what we're looking for. Just a little bit of a reset, so that you know, that it adds some of that tension back in for people that are diehard fans.
Oh, I love it. And I want to talk to you all about Lance Reddick, because hearing his voice and then even seeing the dedication to him, what does it mean to you guys that Vox Machina is part of his legacy?
I mean, it's tremendously important. Yeah, he was an absolute legend. His voice is one of a kind. It means the world to us that he even said yes to the project. We've talked about before, you know, the very humble origins of the show, and I think there were a number of actors that, you know, were on a wish list, and Lance was certainly one of them. So when he said yes and he came in and was so generous with his time, was such an amazing actor, you know, willing to explore and play, and had questions, and was curious not just about the story, but as us, his friends, and how Critical Role came to be. That's a, you know, a one of a kind type person to work with. And so he is greatly missed. And it means the world to us that, you know, whenever somebody goes back and watches the Terror of Tal'Dorei, the Cinder King himself rumble through Amon, you'll have Lance's voice there booming back and trying to stop our heroes from saving the day.
Does anyone else have anything to add? Oh yeah, sorry.
It's strange because he's you know, he's Thordak, he's our big bad, but I can't help every time we watch playback of him to get a little choked up, you know, because he was just so incredible. Matt and I were fans of his from decades ago from The Wire. So, you know, I got emotional when he agreed to come on the project, and then, you know, of course, bawled my eyes out at his passing. But yeah, it's honestly still just like such an honor to have him a part of the project.
Anyone else?
Oh my gosh, I think that they covered it beautifully. I mean, his performance in the show was iconic, and he is an iconic actor, and you know, no one is going to fill the vacuum that he leaves behind.
Agreed. A legend.
He really is, and he's so good in this. I mean, he really is. I mean, everyone is so good in this. This is why I love all these characters, and I feel like, you know, I become so invested. But is there any particular moment you guys are most excited for people to see come to life in season 3 that you can talk about? I feel like there's a spoilery one that we all know.
There's so many.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Marisha.
No, you go.
I'll probably spoil something.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously this is a bit of a spoiler, but a certain someone who makes an appearance in the Hells that Pike has a little battle of the wits with.
Yes.
You know, obviously that was something that was retroactively added that did not happen in campaign 1. But I think that's just the beauty of being, you know, Exandria being such a rich world, having now almost 3 campaigns under our belt and several miniseries, that we're able to go in and just continue to make the animated series that much richer with how much we've explored with Exandria.
Amazing.
I'll avoid spoilers and say that Vox Machina suffers a major body blow in this season. Major. And we are looking forward to watching the audience cope with that.
Yes.
or not cope with it.
Or
I
not
like
cope with
that-
it.
I like that in the height of the madness and mania of the season, we finally get to see one of Scanlan's hideaways come into being, and I think it's perfectly needed. Just as things are starting to really get out of hand.
What about for you, Ashley?
Yeah, I mean, everything that everybody said here, I think uh, getting a visit from in Hells from someone who is very important in the lore and backstory of Critical Role. And also I think just obviously the losing someone very close to all of us, I think was I like that we kind of take that turn because it kind of says, hey guys, the stakes are real high. This is, not everybody's gonna make it to the end. And I love that.
Amazing. Well, thank you guys so much. I
Hopefully that's okay to
love.
say.
Yeah, hey, listen, I still haven't recovered. Okay, I watched episode 6 through 12 back to back. I don't know why I did that to myself. That was horrific. It was.
Oof.
Woof.
I kept being like, another. Are you serious? What are you doing here, guys?
The rains of force.
Oh,
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Exactly.
We'll be watching. We'll be watching the
Amazing.
reactions.
Well, thank you guys so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thanks,
Congratulations.
Thank you so
Always good to
much.
see you.
Yes.
We'll be looking out for
Good
your
to see you
videos.
guys.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, they'll be coming. Don't worry.